Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official rewind. That's right, the rewind for AEW Full Gear 2021, which of course streamed live on Bleacher Report Live last night, Saturday, November 13th, 2021, with the buy-in pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. As you can see, my original guest, Chantel Lace, she's not here with me because it was her birthday and her birthday plans consumed her schedule. Unfortunately, stuff like that happens, but I made a promise that I was going to have a guest, and I am not alone here for the rewind because I made a little last-minute call to my day one A1, to one of the most loyal, one of the most passionate, one of the greatest DJ Storms posse members that has ever walked the face of God's great earth. Ladies and gentlemen, he is coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. He is a lifelong wrestling fan, DJ Storms posse member. Please help me welcome to the channel back once again, Mr. Earl Cole. How you doing, brother?
Oh, DJ Storms, what an introduction. What an introduction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to YouTube. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the DJ Storms page, and welcome, everyone. And happy Sunday to you all. Happy Sunday to you all. We hope that you all had a great weekend. I know I did because I am on a high. I am on a AEW high. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely loved last night. I'm still reverberating about what I saw. I have a lot to say about what I saw last night. And yes, if most of you don't know, I am the host of the Wrestling Experience. Yes. I have done almost 14 shows already. I have 77 subscribers to my channel. Thanks to you all. Thanks to you all. And thank you all for tuning in. Please, if you go to my channel, you can watch the encore presentation of my show. And please hit that like button. Hit the like button on all of my videos. And of course, if you're going to subscribe to my channel, please turn on that bell, that coup de grace bell, so that you know when I pop up on YouTube. It's always a great time when I pop up on YouTube. So don't forget about that. And it is an homage to DJ Storms. I am absolutely in love with DJ Storms. I love his brand. I love his humor. I love his directness. And of course, I am a loyal member of the DJ Storms Posse page, which I am a senior administrator on the page. Yeah, so that is me in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. That is me in a nutshell. And yeah, Lisa Marie. Hello, Lisa Marie. How are you tonight? Welcome.
She's one of my newest supporters. She is fantastic at supporting MJF. She's an MJF mark. She was wearing her Burberry scarf last night during the pay-per-view, texting me all night. Hey, MJF won. I told you so.
Yeah, well, thank you, Lisa Marie, for being here. And please, you can subscribe to my channel as well. Guys, if you want to follow me on social media, you can. Let me explain how you can do that. You can Twitter at WWE Earl C. That's WWE Earl C on Twitter. Instagram, you can always follow me at Earl C99. And of course, you can make me a friend on Facebook. Lock it in, and I will invite you to be on the DJ Storms Posse page. And of course, you can be, hey, DD, how are you? I love you too. Um, so yeah, so that's how you're gonna follow me. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And please, like I said, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's very important to me. I'm almost up to 80 subscribers. So please, I'm trying to get to that goal. Do it today. Don't delay. I'm the real deal, Holyfield. I bring you all kinds of news, rumors, and reports on my show. DJ Storms was going to hit, so I'm making history. So, DJ Storm, thank you so much for allowing me to come on your channel today. I really appreciate it, and I'm here for you, and I'm ready to go.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. And be sure to follow Earl Cole on all of his social medias. All the links are in the description. Shredda is here. Thank you, Shredda, for stopping by. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, DD, my number one mod. Rob Wells Jr., and of course, Lisa Marie. We got a nice, solid group of people here in the chat, but I think we need some more because we're talking about Full Gear. This was the best AEW pay-per-view of all time, so I don't really know why you are not sharing it out right now, because we need a lot more people in here than we have. It is vital, people. It is vital. It is vital. So, you already know where to find Earl Cole on social media. Check out all those links in the description. If y'all want to follow me on social media, if you have not already done so, please make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the DJ underscore Storms. That is the DJ underscore Storms, both on Twitter and Instagram. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, in which I believe everyone here is an official member of, with Earl Cole being the longest reigning out of everyone here and an official DJ Storms Posse administrator, like he just said already. All those links are in the description. Please make sure that you subscribe if you have not already done so, and be sure to like the video. Hooligrim just came on in. My man Hooligrim just came on in. How you doing?
Hello.
Hooligrim, I knew you would come on in sooner rather than later. So, as I was saying, please make sure you hit the like button, share the stream out on all platforms of social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you use. That way we can get as many people in here as possible. We got a lot to talk about, and no one is going to want to miss a single second of this. I see some more people are already filing into the chat. We got Hooligrim, Hannah, Lisa, Shredder. Keep on doing it. I saw Rob Wells Jr. just shared it out on Twitter. Dee, I know that you have a lot of followers on Twitter, so if you have not shared it out, you better be sharing it out, because we want as many people in here as possible. I'm talking about your mothers and your fathers and your brothers and your sisters and your sons and your daughters and your aunts and your uncles and your grandmothers and your grandfathers and your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th cousins twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times removed, your dogs and your cats, and especially your guinea pigs, man, because I'm telling you, my laptop is having trouble charging because I got so many articles lodged in it that specifically stated guinea pigs are exposed to DJ Storms with a little dash of Earl Cole. They are said to live long, happy, healthy, and fruitful lives. So please make sure you share out the stream and get those guinea pigs in here. Subscribe. And of course, there's no one that can outdo the original. I'm sorry, Earl. You did a good job, but the original is always the best. Hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube, because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Hey, Earl, what time is it?
Oh, it's comb time.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yes, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
With
Light
a little, and a little and a whole lot of
good.
It's like fucking Campbell's soup, baby. It's like Campbell's soup. So good. Because everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister, baby.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Enough of the self-brand promotion, the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the show. It was a loaded fucking show, I'm telling you. It was a loaded fucking show. We had the buy-in. We had the buy-in starting at 7 p.m. We did have a couple of preliminary packages. We had a couple of preliminary packages between 7 and 7:30. And then we actually got into the pre-show material. Tony Schiavone, he was in the ring. And before we get into that, I want you to give me your thoughts, your expertise analysis, and your in-depth opinion on everything that went down. What were your thoughts on the overall show? What were some of the high points? What were some of the low points? And what can you expect from AEW going into the future? What were your thoughts on this overall show and the vibe of this show?
Well, first of all, I thought the low points of the show for me was MJF using the ring, the girls interfering in Dr. Brit Baker's match again. Those were just really, they just cramped my style a little bit. But out of all of that, I thought the show was fantastic. I thought that this had fluidity to it. I thought that everything that they had presented to you, they did it with thought, and they did it with meticulously, with meticulously in mind, and how they build the storyline and how they took you on a journey. And I thought that was absolutely the best way you can do it. And I thought it was the best way that you could end a pay-per-view on a high note like that. So for me, I thought that the build was fantastic. I thought that the fluidity of the matches was fantastic. I thought everything that they did was absolutely fantastic. Nothing was rushed. Nothing was forced. Nothing was scripted. Nothing was out of tune. Everything that they did was attention to detail as they presented it to you. Everything that they did was attention to detail. And that is the most important thing when you are building a pay-per-view. You have to have attention to detail, because the thing is that you do not want anything to fall through the cracks. You don't want anything, you don't want any sloppiness. You don't want anything to be off. You don't need that. The audience needs something crisp. They need something flowing. They need something to keep it moving. I thought that the matches were fantastic. Even the buy-in match was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed the tag match. I really did. The ladies really and truly took their time, and they gave the audience something to hang their hat on. It was energy that they gave the audience, and that's exactly what they did. I thought it was fantastic. The entire show was fantastic. And the only two takeaway was the ring and the interference by Brit Baker's friends, and that was the only thing that cramped my style a little bit. But other than that, everything was fantastic, especially the surprise that we got at the end. So.
Oh yes, absolutely. There was a lot of things on this show to really sink our teeth into. There was a lot to digest. My only criticism, I would say, is one match did not really belong on the show, and I say that only because of the fact that I feel as though it kind of overcrowded the show, and even though they managed to get everything into 4 hours, which is good, and I don't necessarily mind a 4-hour show, they got everything into 4 hours, they did what they needed to do, and at the end of it all, it was a fantastic show, a damn near perfect show, their best show yet. I just did not feel as though one match needed to be on the show. We'll talk about that when we get into that. We're actually going to start with the buy-in first. But before we get into the buy-in, let me tell you something. I got to say, At this rate, if you're still shitting on AEW for one reason or another, you're just trying to do it just to be cool. And at this rate, you're not cool at all. You're not cool at all. Matter of fact, you're just a flat out fucking retard at the end of the day. I'm really not going to pay any of these individuals any attention because at the end of the day, AEW is doing exactly what they should be doing. Obviously, they're not perfect, but the overall product is exactly what a pro wrestling product should be. Straightforward, to the point, great wrestling, great storytelling, building new stars, great fluidity, everything flowed very, very nicely. And at the end of it, there was little to nothing to complain about. So the buy-in pre-show started with... I'm sorry, continue.
No. I apologize for stopping you there, DJ Storm. I just want to put this out there in the universe. I respect that tweet that you sent out last night. I really respected it, and I honestly think you are a true wrestling fan because you really know what you're talking about, and you absolutely, and I have to give you kudos with that. I really respect you as a wrestling fan because when you say things like that, it makes me feel good knowing that I can conversate with someone who's on the same wavelength as I am. Because the thing is that, you can't keep dumping on this organization. These WWE fanboys, as I call them, they don't know what good product is. They don't know what good product is if toilet paper was up their ass. So I mean, come on. People. You got to know what's good and what isn't good. Come on, enough already.
Let me tell you something. These are the same people that had no problem with The Miz getting shoved into a kiddie pool full of fucking rubber duckies as if he was Ernie from Sesame Street. I was just waiting for Ernie to come out and start singing, "Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun." Seriously. Anyway, so the buy-in pre-show. This started off with Tony Schiavone interviewing Dante Martin. I have been very, very impressed with Dante Martin. He is absolutely looking like he's going to be the Shawn Michaels out of his tag team with his brother Dante Martin, or for lack of a better term, he could be the Jeff Hardy to Darius Martin's Matt Hardy. But regardless, we'll see what happens when Darius Martin eventually comes back. So he was about to talk about Team Taz, asking him to join the group before the Acclaimed interrupted. And we had Max Caster rapping about Lio Rush going into his 15th retirement and Dante being the only good thing from this depressing-ass town. Of course, he was talking about Minneapolis. If I haven't already said it enough, I fucking love Max Caster. He is absolutely fantastic at what he does. Yep. So Bowens goes, "You're either with us or you're against us." Now, the crowd started chanting, "Shut the fuck up." The Acclaimed are fantastic heels. Bowens then said, "You're either going to give them the answer they want or they'll break both of his legs and send him home crying like his brother." So Dante Martin obviously did not take too kindly to this. He struck Bowens in the face, and then he delivered this huge fucking springboard plancha. I can't even tell you how fucking high. He must have been at least 20 feet up in the air. The guy was, God, he may as well have fucking touched the ceiling. The plancha was fucking huge. That was pretty much that. They wanted to give Dante Martin a little showcase on the pay-per-view in his hometown. And at the end of it, this set up Dante Martin and Lio Rush versus the Acclaimed coming up this Wednesday on Dynamite, which I have no problem with. Matter of fact, whenever the Acclaimed are on television, I stop what I'm doing and I pay attention to everything that they're saying. And as far as Dante and Lio Rush go, they're great fucking professional wrestlers. So I am very, very, very much looking forward to seeing how this works out. I don't know what's going to happen when Darius comes back, but let me tell you something. If Dante keeps this up, when he inevitably gets the opportunity to go and branch off as a full-time singles guy, I think he's definitely going to be something big. Matter of fact, if Dante keeps on winning, these singles matches, I would not mind seeing Dante get a TNT title match against Sammy Guevara. I don't think he's going to win, but I think that Dante Martin could have an excellent performance against Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship. And on top of that, you do need to put people against Sammy in which Sammy can beat, but they're going to be okay in the end. And Dante Martin, he could take a loss because he's got nothing but time on his hands. He's 20 years old. He's definitely going to be a big star when the time is right. But as far as Dante and Lio Rush versus the Acclaim goes, I think that's going to be a great tag team match. What were your thoughts on this segment and what it resulted in?
I had no issues with it. I have no issues with it. You know, this is like this is almost like baseball when you have a free agent and everybody is trying to get to this agent. They're trying to get to this player. And all the teams are vying for this person. It's almost like that. It's almost like this. It's like, oh, I want you to be on my team. I want you to be on this team. I want you to be on that team. I want you to be here. I want you to be there. I like him and Lio Rush because they had a fantastic tag team match. Their chemistry was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
That go home show was absolute. That blew me away. That blew me way off the couch. That was absolutely fantastic. I had no issues with it whatsoever. None. And their chemistry is off. But now when Derry does come back, which will probably be in the new year, what are you going to do at that point? What are you going to do at that point? Do you make Dante turn heel and then he turns on his brother, or do they dump Lio Rush and Rush turns heel? I mean, there's possibilities here. There's possibilities in the booking soup that you could play with. But as far as anything else is concerned, I had no issues with this segment. This was a homegrown segment. It was his hometown. They knew that they had to put him on the show some way, somehow. They had to integrate him in it. And I had no issues with him in the ring. I mean, what he did with the Acclaim, I thought it was fantastic. And what it resulted in was fantastic. So
I would definitely say that Dante Martin has a lot of upside, specifically because of his athleticism and his age. I don't see Dante turning heel. I either see Darius and Dante getting back together, or we could very well potentially see Lio Rush recruit both of the Martin brothers, and we could very well see the trios titles come on into AEW. I wasn't too keen on the trios titles, but considering Tony Khan is great at what he does, I trust the process with Tony Khan, and I trust in him to do right by those trios championships. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens when they do inevitably introduce them. So I would not mind seeing Lio Rush and the Martin brothers in a trios tag team winning the trios titles. But Dante Martin definitely has a lot of upside.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Would you have Lio Rush manage the brothers?
I definitely would not mind that, but I would absolutely want to see Lio Rush competing in the ring, because at the end of the day, Lio Rush, I mean, he's a fantastic fucking professional wrestler. He could absolutely be a future TNT champion down the line. He's got nothing but time on his hands as well. He's only like, 25, 26?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So I definitely would not mind that, but we're going to move on from there. We had a women's tag team match on the buy-in. It was Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. This was a tag team match to hype up the TBS Championship Tournament. And I'm going to say it right now, the TBS Championship Tournament is absolutely better than the World Title Eliminator this year. They are doing some really good stuff with the TBS Championship Tournament. And the women's division has improved leaps and bounds from where it was 2 years ago. And it's only going to get better. The women's division is only going to get better. It's not even there yet, but they're doing very, very good stuff as we speak. They are absolutely going to get to a certain point in time where they are going to be a must-see act on television. Right now, there's a few must-see acts here and there, but when we get to like the end of 2022, maybe 2023, we could very well be looking at the best women's division in the entire wrestling industry. And I know Brandon in the chat, he agrees with me on that one. But this match, I thought this was a very good match, very good buy-in pre-show match. All four of these women definitely brought it. It was solid. It was very, very straightforward. No botches. We had Nyla Rose taking over with a double suplex and a double drop kick on Rosa and Shida. Rosa was then isolated before Shida came in with a missile drop kick to Hayter. Nyla pulled the ropes down and Shida spilled to the outside. Shida was isolated. She inevitably got the hot tag to Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa lit up Nyla with double knees and a hesitation drop kick before Hayter saved the match. Then both women were on the floor, Nyla and Hayter, that is, and Shida and Rosa hit double cross bodies to both women on the floor. Shida then got in the face of Serena Deeb, who was sitting at ringside. Then, all of a sudden, Vicky Guerrero hit Shida in the leg with her kendo stick while the referee's back was turned. Shida was then put back into the ring. Hayter hit Shida with a superplex. Nyla with a frog splash, absolutely crushing Hikaru Shida. Rosa saved it with a diving drop kick. Shida inevitably fought back and rolled up Nyla in a tight jackknife cover to get the win on the buy-in pre-show in a very good match. And this is leading up to Shida versus Nyla in the next round of the TBS Championship Tournament on Wednesday. And I think that the way that they've laid out this tournament is very, very nice because of the history that Shida and Nyla Rose have, as Shida does own 2 separate victories over Nyla Rose at Double or Nothing in 2020 and Full Gear in 2020. So I definitely like the way that they are planning this tournament out. I think that Shida is definitely going to advance. That would definitely be the better match for her, for Jade Cargill, that is, because I do believe Jade Cargill is going to advance as well. And we're going to see Shida versus Cargill in the semifinals. But what were your thoughts on this match? What were your thoughts on the winners? And what are your thoughts on the entire TBS Championship Tournament as a whole?
Well, first of all, let me just say something. Let me just unpack everything here. First of all, when AEW started, a lot of people were down on the women's division. And I had said this, and I said, you got to give something time to marinate. You have to give something time to get it built up. And the women's division in AEW has improved leaps and bounds ever since this inception of this company. Now they have a whole new roster of women. You have Ruby Soho, you have Chris Statlander, you have Abaddon. You've got all of these.
Abaddon's terrible.
Yeah. Well, except for Abaddon. But you have all of these women. Hikaru Ishida, So you have all of these women. You have all of these women in the division, and they come out there each and every week and they bust their behinds, and they give you the best wrestling match that they can possibly muster. They try to be as best as the guys, So they go out there and they do their thing. I'm not hating on the women's division. I already knew that it was going to be time before they build it up. And I was not hating on it. I knew that everything was going to take time. And now the time is here. They build up the women's division, and now they're going to reward them for their hard work by giving them this TBS championship. I thought the tournament was fantastic. They are taking their time and selecting these women and selecting the right woman to defend this TBS championship. And whoever is going to be the inaugural champion, I am sure that they're going to have a long title reign, and I am sure that they are going to be challenged all over the place for the title, and they're going to put on a great show. I have no problem with this championship. I have no problem with this tournament. I think it was a brilliant idea by Tony Khan to create it. I think it's great because they're moving to TBS on January the 5th. And by the way, I'm going to be in Newark. By the way, when TBS
I'm going to
when they
try and get tickets, man. I'm going to try and get tickets. I'm playing it by ear right now. Hopefully, I am going to snag some tickets. I'm going to have to work around my new job schedule, but hopefully I'll be there. Hopefully I'll see you there. Hopefully I'll be able to get there a little bit earlier. Squishy, it's actually her birthday on January the 5th. So if you see her at the event, she's going to the event. Make sure you wish her a happy birthday. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I absolutely see everything that you just said. The tournament has been brilliantly laid out. We've had some nice, intense matches. The division has definitely grown leaps and bounds. Things are definitely starting to come all together, and this was a pretty decent showcase match for these two women on the show, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the tournament plays out going forward. Who do you see winning the tournament? I got Ruby Soho.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I am on the same wavelength as you. I think it would be great to give Ruby Soho the inaugural TBS championship. Um, there are other women too, but I don't think it's their time yet to be a champion. But I see Soho going forward in this, and I believe that she will become the new TBS champion, and she'll be the first inaugural TBS champion. And let me just get back to this tag team match. This tag team match was absolutely fantastic. I had no problems with it. I mean, this was just absolutely scintillating. The four women in the ring were just they had the chemistry and everything. So it was great. I enjoyed the show and I enjoyed the tag match.
So from there, we went to the main show, and we had Darby Allen and MJF kicking off the show. And holy shit, this right here was an excellent pro wrestling match. This was pro wrestling at its finest between two of the four pillars. And when MJF said that Darby Allen and himself are the top two of the four pillars, they were absolutely telling the truth. There is no doubt in anyone's mind after this performance from these two men that the future of AEW is absolutely in good hands. So we had a very technical start, nice back and forth roll-ups. We had double kip-ups. Darby then came in with a nasty suicide dive to MJF. Darby went for a coffin drop on the apron, but MJF moved. Darby crashed and burned. MJF, he then took over, started to wear down Darby. He caught Darby with a backbreaker and a side slam for a 2. Both men were on the top rope. MJF was caught with a middle rope stunner by Darby. Darby then mounted a comeback, and he was caught in a headlock takeover. That was the story of this match. We had a powerbomb backbreaker by MJF for a 2. Darby came in with a headbutt, drop kick to the knee. So MJF's knee was the story and the target for Darby Allen. MJF reversed the code red into a big rebound powerbomb for a 2. MJF then locked in the Scorpion Death Lock. Darby was able to get to the ropes. We had a chop block to the leg by Darby. MJF came back with a diving stomp to Darby's arm. Darby then, they were on the apron. And this was actually after. This was after Darby locked in the figure 4 on MJF, continuing to target the leg. So both men were on the apron. MJF delivers a fucking tombstone pile driver to Darby Allen on the fucking ring apron. Looked fucking brutal. You could not pay me all the money in the world to take that shit. MJF, he hurt his leg. Both men made it back into the ring. They started rolling cradle for cradle for cradle for cradle, double cradle, roll up after roll up. Darby ended up hitting the code red for a damn near close 2 count. Very close. Sting then came out because Wardlow and Shawn Spears came out to aid MJF, but Sting, he fought them off with a steel chair and a baseball bat. Back in the ring, We had Darby with a coffin drop to MJF on the floor. Coffin drop to MJF on the floor. He went for a coffin drop in the ring, but MJF got the knees up. So MJF, then he super kicked Darby. He took Darby's skateboard and he threw it at Darby saying, come on, hit me, hit me. He was trying to break him mentally, like he said he was going to do. Darby did not do it. Darby gave the skateboard to the referee. MJF pulled the Dynamite Diamond Ring out of his trunks like the sly motherfucker that he is, bashed Darby in the face with it. Darby was knocked out. MJF then, with this brilliant fucking move right here, Darby was knocked out. MJF with a fucking side headlock takeover. And he pinned Darby 1, 2, 3. I mean, how can you not fucking love that? How can you not love that? MJF is such an old school heel, and his tactics for winning matches are fucking brilliant. They're brilliant. And on top of that, here's another point. Darby Allin shut up a lot of people with this match. There's some people, there's some inept incels on social media that claim that Darby's just a stunt man or Darby's just a gymnast. That wasn't Darby tonight, or last night rather. Darby and MJF delivered a straight-up pro wrestling match. There was no crazy spots outside of the tombstone on the apron. Both men were very, very mat-based. Both men did everything that they could to out-wrestle the other. Darby kept his cool. Darby Allin showed everyone that he is not a stunt double. He is a professional fucking wrestler. And Darby Allin, he loses absolutely nothing. He loses nothing from losing to MJF here. Darby Allin and MJF delivered an excellent pro wrestling match. I would even go so far as to say this was the best pro wrestling match of the night. Darby Allin and MJF had a better pro wrestling match than Omega and Page. I can't even believe that I'm saying that, but Darby and MJF, excellent fucking pro wrestling match. Correct winner. I would have not been surprised if Darby won. And to be quite honest with you, I have a feeling that this feud could continue, which I would not mind, because MJF needs something to do while Adam Hangman Page is establishing himself as the world champion. And we're going to talk about that later on, but I absolutely loved the way that this match played out. Darby Allin showed everyone that he's a pro wrestler. MJF with an excellent way of winning the match. And on top of that, I want to throw something out there. Do you remember last year at Full Gear when Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega kicked off the show? Now they main evented Full Gear 1 year later. Bookmark this match, because this right here, this is your main event of Full Gear 2022 for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Darby and MJF. Just watch. But I'm going to hand it over to you. Give me your expertise analysis and your thoughts on Darby Allin versus MJF to kick off Full Gear.
What do I say to that? How do I top that? I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, this was, guys, this was absolutely fantastic. This was absolutely fantastic. This was I always says that MJF reminds me of a dirty Roddy Piper. He does. He reminds me of one of them dirty Roddy Piper heels. Now, if you all don't know who Roddy Piper is, you need to Google him. Google him, and I'm telling you, he was one of those men that when he was heel, he was really nasty. This match was absolutely fantastic. I knew it was going to be a classic. I said it in my prediction video that this was going to be a classic, and it lived to be that. It did. I love the ring shot. I didn't care for the ring shot. Okay, I'm not a fan of that, but okay, it works for him because he's a heel, and that's what heels do. Heels do what is necessary to get to the pay window. Whether they put their feet on the rope, whether they take the turnbuckle off, whether they grab it tight, whether they this is what heels do. This is what heels do. And this is what turns the audience off. They go like they get that go away heat. That's what a heel does. That is exactly
No. You see. There's a difference between go away heat and legit heel heat. MJF doesn't have go away heat. He's got legit heel heat.
Oh yeah, legit heat. Okay. I apologize. Wrong terminology. Wrong terminology. He's heat. He's got that legit heat. And his music irks you, his talking irks you,
It
his
doesn't irk
persona
me. I
irks
fucking love the
you.
guy. So does Lisa.
I mean, yeah,
Lisa tweets
yeah,
all the time.
yeah. It's you and Lisa are in the minority. He his stuff. I mean, even Tony Schiavone can't take him. He just yeah. I mean, Tony Schiavone used to call him a prick. I mean, that's what
That's
he
why I
thinks
love
of him.
MJF, because I'm a prick.
Yeah, that's what he thinks of him. That's exactly what he thinks of him. And
Oh God.
I just had no issue. I just had no issue with it. I had no issues with it. I thought the match was fantastic. I thought the way I told I predicted in this thing that MJF was going to win over Darby. I said it in my predictions. I said it in my predictions, um and and that yeah, my predictions came true. It was a teachable moment for Darby, and he took the L, and that was it. Again, I have no qualms, no issues about it. He's a great heel. He does what he needs to do. He says what he says he's gonna do, and that's the way a heel is. They'll come on TV and they'll say, "I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z in a match," and that's exactly what he does. He does X, Y, and Z in the match, and he delivers.
And that is why
You can,
MJF is going to be the next world champion.
yeah, and I got again.
So let me ask you this. Where can you see both of these men going after Full Gear? Do you think this feud continues, or do you see Wardlow turning on MJF? And do we see MJF versus Wardlow potentially at Revolution? Darby, do you potentially see Darby and Sting moving on to something new? Because they are undefeated as a tag team. Do you potentially see them potentially getting some more tag team wins and then potentially facing the Lucha Bros for the tag team titles at some point, which will then lead to them losing, and then we get Darby versus Sting? Or do you think they're going to wait on Darby versus Sting? But either way, I just want to know, where can you see MJF and Darby going after this? I honestly believe that we could very well see another match between these two, and Wardlow is going to end up inadvertently costing MJF, and MJF and Wardlow is going to be one of the undercard matches for Revolution next year.
Yeah, I again I can see all that happening. I can see that. The only thing is that I don't see Sting. I don't see Sting being in a tag team with Darby because of his age. I don't know how. I don't
Age is just
know.
a number. You take a look at what he's been doing in the ring. I mean,
Yeah,
their
no,
matches
no,
have been fantastic. The tag team
no,
is just temporary. The tag team's just temporary. Remember that.
no. I understand that. I understand that. It's just that I'm a little concerned with his with him taking bumps and everything else, and but he act like he's 20 again. Sting. I mean, Sting can go. Sting can go. Let me tell you something. I respect Sting. I don't know about anybody else. I respect him. I respect what he does at his age. I mean, he can go. He can go, and he proved it on the Slam show. He proved it. He takes the bump and he keeps on ticking. So I could see the two of them going after the Lucha Bros. They're not going to win the titles, but
Yeah, they're not
I
going
can
to
see
win.
them going after them. No. I can see them winning. I can see them going after it. Why? I don't see why not. That would be a good tag
The
match. To be
individuals that
honest with
will
you.
beat the Lucha Bros is Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful.
Right. Exactly.
So,
But
I'm sorry, continue.
no. I apologize. No. I agree with the assessment. It was. I agree with it.
So that was an excellent match, excellent pro wrestling match to kick off the show. From there, we went into FTR versus the Lucha Bros for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And this was a match that didn't really get too much build, but let me tell you something. These two teams fucking brought it. These two teams fucking brought it. It went nearly 20 minutes, and these two teams absolutely tore the fucking house down. Both of these teams are excellent at what they do, and I was very, very, very much looking forward to seeing how these two teams would really gel well together, because it's been a while since we've seen them in the ring, considering that the last match that they had at Fight for the Fallen, which was a really, really, really good tag team match, but it wasn't really in front of anyone. Now we actually get this match on a big stage. So this match altogether was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And these two teams, let me tell you something. When it comes to tag team wrestling, I think that FTR and the Lucha Bros, when all is said and done, they're going to go down as two of the best tag teams in pro wrestling history. And they're absolutely in the top 10, at least in the world right now. Maybe even the top 5. These two teams are the perfect embodiment of the perfect tag team. The fluidity, the chemistry, the move sets, the communication, everything about these two teams just screamed to me perfect tag team. So the fight started right out of the gate. FTR took over on the Lucha Bros, and they tried to wear them down. They tried to wear down Phoenix before Penta got the tag. Sling Blade to Cash Wheeler. Dax then with Dax was in a seated position. Cash was then in the Tree of Woe. Phoenix then launched Penta into a Cannonball Senton into them. Lucha Bros then locked in a double submission on FTR, crossface abdominal stretch combo. Penta was then dropped neck first on the ring rope. Penta was isolated. He hit a roll through Casadora into a DDT on Dax. Phoenix then got the hot tag. He picked up the pace with a stunner to both men. We had a kick out by Dax. Cash Wheeler hit Phoenix with the title belt. Dax with a brainbuster on Phoenix. Phoenix just kicked out. FTR then with a grand amplitude, little tribute to American Alpha right there. Phoenix just kicked out. FTR then got taken out. Hurricane Rana to Cash. Tully then grabbed Penta's leg. Harwood went for the Three Amigos. There was a lot of Eddie Guerrero tributes on Full Gear. He got the Three Amigos, or he thought he did. Penta then with the Three Amigos of his own. Phoenix then hit the Frog Splash. Harwood kicked out. We had a hook kick by Phoenix on Cash, but FTR came back with the stuffed pile driver. Phoenix still kicked out. Phoenix and Penta then with the Fear Factor, double cover. Dax still kicked out. Realistically, that should have been the end. The ending, I don't know why they did this ending, but the ending was really clunky. They put the masks on, did FTR. The Los Superanas masks did FTR. And Wheeler was actually the illegal man, and the Lucha Bros ended up pinning Wheeler. It actually backfired on FTR. Now, we all knew that FTR was not winning this match. The Lucha Bros were going to win this match because they deserve a nice, lengthy reign with the tag team titles. FTR was not taking the titles off the Lucha Bros. And to a certain extent, I understand what they were going for with the ending. I understand, because Lucha Bros aren't losing the titles anytime soon, and maybe they want to get another match out of these two before they end the program. They want to get another match out of these two. So they did this ending with the illegal man getting pinned just to try and really spark up some more heat with the feud. And then we inevitably get another match, potentially at the Winter is Coming show that is reportedly happening in December. I wouldn't mind that. I definitely would not mind that. but the ending was not very, very straightforward and smooth. It really wasn't. If anything, I would just have had Lucha Bros win straight up with no chicanery, and then I would have just had Jurassic Express be the next team to challenge the Lucha Bros, because Jurassic Express, they're not winning the titles yet. So the Lucha Bros already beat the Butcher and the Blade. They beat the Acclaimed. They beat FTR. I would have had to move on to Jurassic Express before we inevitably get to Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful. But regardless, I do believe that this was a fantastic match. There's no way it can't be. The Lucha Bros and FTR are two of the best tag teams on the planet. The ending was just very, very off. I'm guessing we're going to get another match out of these two teams, considering the Illegal Man was pinned. I understand what they were trying to do. It just did not come off very, very well. But other than that, match was fantastic. And the right team won. Lucha Bros are continuing their tag team title reign, and they are going to continue holding those titles going into the new year. So, Earl Cole, the floor is yours.
That was a great assessment by you, by the way. It was a little clunky. The ending was clunky. I didn't understand it. Going underneath the ring and getting the lucha mask. I mean, I just didn't understand that. I didn't understand that at all. I could understand if they would have went underneath the ring and they would have put on the entire getup, and then they put the mask on, and then you wouldn't know who's who in the ring. And then they would have did a cradle, and then they would have walked away with the new tag team championship. But that's not what they did. They put the mask on, and the Illegal Man was pinned in the match. It was just, I don't know what they were doing with that. I didn't understand. I was confused. I was totally confused at the ending. I didn't understand that. That was weird. But the match itself, like you said, was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the moves. I love the Lucha Bros. Ray Phoenix. Gosh, jeez. What can I say about Ray Phoenix? This guy is absolutely wild. He is absolutely wild in what he can do to you in the ring, with his legs, with his speed, with his mind. It's just absolutely, it just blows you. It just blows your mind. Phoenix is probably one of the best luchadors I have ever seen on the planet when it comes to wrestling. This guy knows his wrestling, and he knows the ropes, and he knows his moves, and he does it so crisp, and it's not sloppy. It's just absolutely amazing. Look what he did in the ladder match with the Young Bucks. This was just, go back and take a look at his stuff. You're not going to believe what you see. It was just absolutely fantastic. The match was, again, like I said, I don't want to keep beating on the dead horse, but the match was fantastic. I gave it an A across the board. I did not like the ending part. The ending part was a little clunky. But it all came to a head. It all came to a good end, and the right team won. So I did predict on my prediction show that they would retain the titles. They did retain, but the ending was just a head scratcher. Will we see another rematch with these two? Possibly. Maybe on a future Dynamite episode. Possibly.
Who else can you see? Who else can you see the Lucha Bros facing before they inevitably get to Proud and Powerful? And when can you see that match with Proud and Powerful happen? Do you think it's going to happen at New Year's Smash? Do you think it's going to happen at the first TNT special on January 8th, I believe it is? That's when the first TNT special is, on Saturday. Battle of the Belts, you think it's going to happen then? Or do you think they're going to wait till Revolution to do Proud and Powerful versus the Lucha Bros?
again, all of those shows are absolutely within the stars of alignment. It all depends on what they want to do at this point. I would say on January the 5th would be the night to do it. I mean,
You're just
you're
saying
on a
that
new
because
net.
you're going to the show, man.
I
You're
mean
being
I mean
greedy.
I mean I would book it. I would. I mean, you're on a new network, you're on a new show, you're on a new platform. I mean, why not on that night? Why not? I don't see any problem with that. Any problem with that. But like I said, Battle of the Belts, you definitely could do that. Winter is coming, you can do that. So I mean, there's possibilities. There is possibilities right then and there.
I would probably wait till Revolution, if I'm going to be quite honest. I would absolutely wait
Yeah,
until Revolution to do Proud and Powerful versus the Lucha Bros. But FTR, I absolutely see FTR taking the titles off of Proud and Powerful we see after we see Proud and Powerful win the titles from the Lucha Bros. FTR and the Pinnacle, I can absolutely see holding all the gold at some point.
right.
But
No. Again, the match was fantastic.
But yeah, absolutely fantastic match. Very weird ending. I'm guessing we're going to get some sort of explanation as to what's going to happen next. We'll definitely see. But let's move on to the next match. We had Miro, God's favorite champion or God's forsaken champion, Miro, he was taking on Bryan Danielson. This was the AEW World Title Eliminator Finals. And this was another very good match. These two wrestled the match as everyone was expecting. Miro was using his power against Bryan Danielson. Bryan was trying to out-wrestle Miro because Bryan Danielson is one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet. Miro, using his power early on, he drove Bryan to the floor with a belly-to-belly. Nice, fierce belly-to-belly. We had Miro just soaking in everything because he's God's favorite champion or was God's favorite champion. Danielson then he tried to come back with a running knee off the apron, which it connected. Danielson then with the shotgun drop kick, the kneeling kicks right to the chest and the shoulder. Danielson then with the knee bar submission. Miro powered out of it with a deadlift German. We had Danielson with the Muay Thai knees to Miro's head. Miro caught Bryan Danielson in the middle of the running knee attempt with a nice power bomb for a 2 count. He had the game over locked in, but Danielson just got to the ropes. Danielson then with the label lock, it was in deep, but Miro was able to pry Danielson's hands off of his face. We then had Miro raking the eyes as Bryan went for the triangle sleeper. Both men were then on the top rope. Bryan with a swinging DDT off the top rope. Miro got spiked. Bryan then locked in the guillotine. He locked in the guillotine and Miro passed out. It was not a tap out. Miro passed out. And Bryan Danielson wins the AEW World Title Eliminator Finals in a very, very good match. The ending surprised me. I did not have Bryan Danielson winning this. I had Miro winning this, specifically because of the fact that Miro is doing the best work of his career. I said that Miro should have been in the tournament from the very beginning and he should have won the whole thing, but maybe they have something else planned for Miro. But I do understand why Bryan won this. I understand why Bryan won this. The main reason, or two main reasons why Bryan was brought into AEW was not to win championships. It would be cool if he does win a championship, but he doesn't need a championship. He's already a made man. Bryan is there for 2 reasons. 1, to get more eyes on the product, and 2, to help get others over. Miro, I can't really complain about the way that Miro lost because he was protected in defeat. He did not tap out. He was not pinned. He passed out. So he looked strong in the end. Bryan Danielson winning this This now presents an even bigger opportunity to do the one thing that AEW does better than anyone else in the pro wrestling industry right now. AEW knows how to properly transfer credibility from one person to the next. They did that with the tag team titles. Omega and Page had the titles. They transferred that credibility to FTR. And they transferred that credibility to the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks transferred their credibility to the Lucha Bros. Look at the TNT title. We had Brody Lee transferring his credibility to Cody Rhodes. Cody transferred his credibility to Darby, who transferred his credibility to Miro, who transferred his credibility to Sammy. Cody transferred his credibility to Malachi Black. Hikaru Shida and that long title reign. Brit Baker was the one to end Hikaru Shida's long title reign. Brit Baker is now building herself up as a credible champion. This is what AEW does better than anyone else. Bryan Danielson is as credible as you can get because of how good of a professional wrestler he is. Adam Hangman Page won the championship from Omega. Omega transferred his credibility to Page. Now we get Bryan. He's absolutely laying down for Page, and Page is absolutely retaining the title against Bryan. Now Bryan is going to further enhance Page. Page is going to be made into the biggest star on the show. And when Page, he's beaten Omega, he beats Bryan, he beats whoever else they put in front of him. When MJF beats Adam Hangman Page, all of that credibility that Page built up will be transferred to MJF. And MJF is going to be the biggest star in the company. And that's what I love about AEW. They know how to transfer credibility from one superstar to the next and build new stars. Bryan Danielson winning was a calculated move. Even though I feel in my heart that Miro should have taken it, Bryan Danielson winning is going to present a very interesting ball game for Adam Hangman Page because honestly, if we're going to be real here, even though I believe Miro should have won, Bryan Danielson versus Adam Hangman Page is clearly going to be the better match. And Bryan's credibility is at an all-time high. Miro's credible, but he's not Bryan Danielson credible. And Bryan Danielson, when he lays down for Page, that's going to enhance Adam Hangman Page tenfold. So I can't really shit on this. It was a very good match. Miro was protected. And Bryan Danielson, he's going to make Adam Hangman Page into a bigger star than he is. I mean, unless you got anything else to add.
No, I don't. I don't. And this is the thing when you have something like that, and you have an advanced talent like Bryan Danielson. You got a gold star in the ring, and he's a star. He is a star. He is there to help build up these stars, and he knows what he has to do. He knows what his role is, and that is something that you cannot put down. You cannot argue over. You cannot do anything. And what you just said was brilliantly assessed. You assessed the whole thing brilliantly, and I'm not even going to argue with that fact. I'm not going to even argue with that fact. I thought in my head that, okay, he won the tournament. He is the number one contender. And then I thought that Omega was going to retain the title. And then we would have had part two in a last man standing match, which I would have thought in my head would have worked. If that was the road that they were traveled on, I would have thought that, yes, that would have worked because we got a time limit draw in the Grand Slam. We didn't get a winner. We hadn't had a winner. So, but this all worked out the way it's supposed to. The stars were aligned. Everything is great. And yeah, I think once the bell rings, this is going to be a great match for the two of them. Daniel is not going to win the title. Absolutely not. But, he'll be AEW champion someday down the road. I could see that happening with him. But he's here to enhance the talent, and he's here to build them up. And he's here to put them up to the pinnacle of the mountain, the way they're supposed to be. And you are correct. And yet, this is why I respect you as a fan, because you think clearly and you think with clairvoyance. And some fans don't think with clairvoyance. They have a cloud that's in their way, and they don't see the overall picture. You have to see the overall picture, and you do. And that was a brilliant assessment, and bravo on your part.
So let me ask you a question. Where can you see Miro and Bryan going from here? So Bryan's obviously going to lose to Paige. Can you see Bryan potentially getting his match with Moxley down the line, potentially at Revolution, considering Moxley's going to come back and he's going to put forth a heel turn, because that was going to be the end goal of this tournament. Moxley and Bryan, and Moxley turning heel. But now that Moxley's in alcohol rehab, in an alcohol rehab program, he's going to be out for at least 90 days. So he's probably not going to be back until at least Revolution at the earliest. Or maybe at the latest, maybe Double or Nothing, maybe even the summer. But I don't know what's going to happen there. But can you see Bryan and Moxley coming about? Or with what happened with Punk and Kingston, can you see Moxley and Kingston reuniting, and then we get Moxley and Kingston versus Bryan and Punk? That it could go either way, to be quite honest. But that's the route that I see Bryan going in. He's absolutely getting himself into a program with Moxley whenever that happens. But I don't know where Miro goes from here. I'm not really sure. Maybe they put him in an undercard program, potentially with a guy like Cody Rhodes, considering that Miro, he's over, but considering that he hasn't really been on TV too much since his loss to Sammy, he's kind of a little stagnant. So considering the fact that you put anyone against Cody and they're going to be over as fuck, I think that you put Miro against Cody and people are going to cheer the fuck out of Miro, and Miro's going to be as hot as he was. So I don't know where Miro goes. He could potentially get into a feud with Cody. Maybe they bring in CJ Perry, his wife, and maybe we see a little CJ Perry, Brandy Rhodes type of dynamic with Cody and Miro fighting in the ring. That's a potential match that I would love to see. I don't know. Maybe we see Miro taking a little break, maybe healing up some nagging injuries. Maybe they gave the win to Bryan because Miro still had a little bit of a nagging injury in his quadricep because his quad was taped up. That could also be a potential reason why Miro did not win. It's kind of a toss-up. It's a little bit of a toss-up, but we'll see how that plays out. But where do you see Bryan and Miro going after this? And then we're going to move on to the next match.
Well, first of all, with Miro, he still has to feud with Kip Sabian, who he injured back a while ago. And Kip is still on the shelf, from what I understand. But when he comes off the shelf, I'm sure Kip wants revenge after Miro injured him and put him on the shelf, which he had to have surgery. So I can see that simmering a little bit. With Daniel, I think after he takes on Paige, maybe a program in the that's a good question. I don't know where I see Danielson. Maybe he goes after the TNT title. He could do that. That's an interesting dynamic there.
They're gonna have to build him up, because if he loses the Page, he's gonna have to start at the bottom, because wins and losses matter here in AEW. Not like in the other company, because fuck that other company.
Right. So, I guess they would have to build him up again, and then get him enough. But I could see him teaming up with Punk, and they be a tag team. I could see that happening. I mean the possibilities with him are endless. as far as putting him in programs because he can fit anywhere. That's the thing. It's not like you can't fit him anywhere or you can't book him anywhere. You can fit him anywhere. You can slide him in anywhere. Even with
Lisa,
MJF, yeah,
Lisa,
well,
you need to be patient, babe, because here's the thing. MJF will be the world champion at Double or Nothing next year. We cannot have a confrontation between MJF and Paige yet. So
no,
calm yourself down. I realize you're very, very anxious, or you're
right,
you're salivating at the mouth to get a little bit of MJF. I understand, babe, but at the end of the day, Paige needs to have his time first. So take a step back, honey. Take a step back. Just saying.
yeah,
Courtney Holland, by the way, thank you very much for joining. I greatly appreciate you joining. Be sure to hit that like button and share
hi,
out
Courtney.
Yeah, me and Earl Cole were dissecting everything Full Gear related, and we got plenty more to dissect too. But we'll definitely see what happens with Bryan and Miro going into the winter of 2021, and then the hopefully the spring of 2022. I'm looking for something good with them. Maybe we do get the Punk Bryan versus Moxley and Kingston match. Maybe we do get Miro versus Cody or Miro versus Kip. It's definitely going to be an interesting time. I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds for AEW. Speaking of the future, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage, they took on the Super Clique. That is the Young Bucks and Adam Cole Bay. And by the way, I think Adam Cole is over. I think he's very, very over. So this was a Falls Count Anywhere match, and holy shit, these guys beat the shit out of each other in this match. This was a fucking chaotic war. This was all over the fucking place, all action, no down points. People were jumping off of rafters and going through tables, going on ladders. It was an absolute fucking war of epic proportions. Loved every minute of it. The ending surprised me, but I'm not complaining about the ending either, and I'm going to explain why. So, Rob, we will talk about that after we talk about the match. So hold that question. We'll keep that question up on the board for now, though. We'll keep that question up on the board. Yeah. So the fight started immediately. Cole and Cage, they had a nice back and forth. I would actually love to see Adam Cole versus Christian Cage. I think that would be a fantastic match. Jungle Boy then threw a chair at Cole's face. We have Jungle Boy taking a seat on the chair. Cole with a Shining Wizard. Christian Cage with a reverse DDT to Adam Cole on the chair. We then had Luchasaurus with a double German suplex on the Bucks. Cole then used the trash can on Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy with 2 suicide dives, but the Bucks hit him in the head with a trash can lid. Everyone started taking out everyone. It was fucking chaos. A table was set up on the camera side and on the ramp side. We had Adam Cole getting busted open. The Bucks then saved Cole from a concerto. We had Cage and Nick Jackson brawling up into the crowd. Luchasaurus with super kicks to Cole. Cole super kicked. He super kicked Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy super kicked him. Nick super kicked him. Super kick fucking party. So Luchasaurus was laid out on the table, and Cole was on the apron. Cole got Hurricane Rana'd off the apron through the table. Matt Jackson with a Randy Savage elbow drop to Luchasaurus through the fucking table. Fucking unbelievable. We then had Christian Cage out in the crowd, jumping from the rafters onto Nick Jackson, Brandon Cutler, and Michael Nakazawa. Fucking crazy. The brawl moved back into the ring. Cole then put thumbtacks in Jungle Boy's mouth, and they double super kicked Jungle Boy with the tacks in his mouth while Adam Cole had the camel clutch on. You could not pay me all the money in the world to put fucking thumbtacks in my mouth. So after that, we had Christian Cage saving the pinfall. A ladder was brought into the ring. Christian Cage with a tornado DDT onto the ladder. Matt Jackson then struck Luchasaurus with a trash can lid. We had a choke slam to Nick Jackson on the ladder. Jungle Boy then locked in Adam Cole with the snare trap out on the ramp. Cole saved the tap out from happening. Christian Cage dodged a super kick. Everyone started low blowing everyone. No one's going to be having any more children. We then had Adam Cole and the Bucks bringing out thumbtack knee pads, and they hit a three-way BTE trigger, but Jungle Boy saved it. We had a spear by Christian Cage to Matt Jackson. We had fucking Luchasaurus choke slamming Adam Cole off the ramp onto the pile. Then the guy does a fucking shooting star press. A fucking shooting star press off the ramp onto the pile. Christian Cage then with chairs. Jungle Boy was given the thumbs up by Christian Cage, and Jungle Boy hit a concerto on Matt Jackson for the win. This match was fucking awesome. This was absolutely the match of the night. And I was not expecting Christian Cage and Jurassic Express to win, but I'm not complaining, specifically because of the fact that A, Adam Cole was not pinned. Adam Cole was protected. And B, Jungle Boy got the win. Jungle Boy got the win, and it really does go to show you how high the management team is on Jungle Boy. And to answer your question, Rob Wells Jr., I do believe that probably within the next 5 years or so, Jungle Boy will be a world champion. He doesn't need to do it now. I think that there's a lot more value in Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus as a tag team, and I do believe that they will eventually win the tag team titles. But as far as Jungle Boy now goes, just continue focusing on the tag team titles. But in the future, 5 years, he'll absolutely win the world championship. He is absolutely a future world champion. He's got a Bryan Danielson underdog-like vibe. He's got everything going for him, and he's dating Anna Jay. I'm jealous. I mean, come on, can I get a woman like Anna Jay? Jack Perry, can you please hit up my DMs? I would love a woman like Anna Jay, please. But anyway, as far as the match goes, excellent match. I was not expecting the baby faces to come out victorious, but Adam Cole was protected. I did not mind that, and I did not mind that Jungle Boy got the win, and it only further solidifies Jungle Boy as the present and the future of AEW. Awesome match. Earl Cole, let me hear it.
I love the assessment. That was brilliant assessment by you. Again, that was brilliant. To answer Blue Shade's question, I do agree with you, DJ. So 5 years from now, I think he will be a champion at some point. And right now is not the time for him to be the world champion. It's not. He has to build up those wins. He's got to build up those wins. He's got to have more spotlight matches. He's got to be in the thick of things for them to even have him as a conversation piece. For him to be in the championship picture. As far as this match is concerned, I absolutely loved it. It was wild. It was woolly. It was all over the place.
That's a new t-shirt right there. Wild, woolly, and all over the place.
Yeah, I mean that should be the tagline for the match. I mean, it was wild, woolly, and all over the place.
Fucking brilliant.
You know, I mean, it's just, it was a street fight. Come as you are, do what you please. I mean, it was just absolutely scintillating. I mean, this match, they used everything. I mean, our friends from Connecticut couldn't even do something like this in a match like this.
Friends. The people up in Connecticut, they hate the fans. What are you talking about? Fuck those people. Fuck John Laurinaitis. Fuck White Castle Pritchard. Fuck Vince McMahon. Tony Khan is the real friend of the people.
Right, exactly. This match was just absolutely. I mean, this was just. I mean, I love the spots. I love the spots. I love the concerto in the end. I just, it was just dessert. Yeah, yes, that is our tagline, Hooligan. Woolly, wild, and all over the place. Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was just that. It was just that. It's a hashtag, and I think you all should use it in wild matches like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was fantastic. I have no complaints about it. I love the ending. I mean, it was just dessert for Jungle Boy after all the beatdowns that he got from the Super Click and everything else. This was just absolutely to give him the chair and said, you and Christian just said, get out of the way and said, you know what? You take this pin, you take it home, bring it home. He gives him the concerto, and it was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. It was just, again, it was woolly, wild, and all over the place, and I loved it.
People, we only have 14 likes. Be sure if you haven't already done so, share the stream out. If you have not already done so, get as many people in here as possible. We want to get to at least 20 likes. It is vital that we do so. But now, here's the question. Where can you see all of these 6 men going? For me, I can definitely see Jurassic Express fighting the Lucha Bros for the tag team titles. I don't think they're going to win, but I do see them as one of the Lucha Bros' next challengers. I do see Christian Cage potentially going after Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship, just as an interim opponent, because I do believe that in the end, Sammy's going to lose that title at Revolution to Malachi Black. And then, as far as the Super Click goes, I got a bold prediction right here. Now, I know this may piss off Lisa, but Adam Cole, I do believe that Adam Cole is going to get a shot at the AEW World title before MJF. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that they need a big match for Revolution. Double or Nothing is the date where we get MJF versus Page. We need a big money match for Revolution. And you could do a Miro, you could do a Bryan, you can do an Andrade. But at the end of it all, the best money match that you could do in the main event of Revolution for Adam Hangman Page for the world title is Adam Cole. And I say that because that brings in a world of possibilities. Lisa actually mentioned in the chat earlier that the Bucks are showing signs of a face turn. Kenny's he's obviously gonna go away. He needs to heal up his nagging injuries. Kenny's gonna go away. The Bucks seem to be turning face. Adam Cole, he's still undefeated in singles competition, and that's going to play a factor going into his match with his predicted match, I do believe, with Adam Hangman Page for the AEW World Title at Revolution. That's going to result in Adam Cole looking for assistance from the Bucks, but he doesn't get it. And because of that, he is inevitably going to get so pissed off that he's going to recruit some old friends. Kyle O'Reilly's contract with NXT is coming to the end of its expiration date. It's coming to the end come next month. Kyle O'Reilly ain't staying. Kyle O'Reilly's going straight to Jacksonville. He's going to sign that dotted line, and he's working for TK. And at the end of it, Adam Cole, he's going to get frustrated with the Bucks, so much so that the Bucks are going to be full-fledged babyface, and Adam Cole is going to bring in some old undisputed friends. After Revolution and Adam Cole loses to Page, he's going to get so frustrated, he's going to recruit Bobby Fish, he's going to recruit Kyle O'Reilly, and they're going to take out the Bucks. And then after they're running roughshod over Dynamite for a couple weeks, Bucks and Kenny Omega are going to come back. And we're going to get the Elite versus the Undisputed Era, the original Undisputed Era, at Double or Nothing in 2022. 6-man tag. I'm calling it right now. You heard it here first. That's how we're going.
uh, I can't I can't dispute that. No pun intended. Um, I just I what enough said. What else is there to say? I mean, this is just absolutely the direction I believe that this is going to travel on. What other direction can you travel on? What
That's
possible
why they signed Bobby
scenario?
Fish. They're waiting for O'Reilly.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's gonna happen, and this is what will happen. And I'm agreeing with your assessment.
So let
You
me ask
can.
you this. Let me ask you this. Do you see that happening exactly how I said, or that do you see Adam Cole being the one to turn babyface, not the Bucks? I see the
Um.
Bucks turning babyface with
Uh.
Omega.
I think Cole is better as a heel.
Yeah.
I don't like him as a face. I'm not. I don't know. That don't suit him. He's best suited as a heel. It fits. It fits him. And yeah, I can see him reuniting the Undisputed Era, which they will get better booking, which they would get better booking than they did in the WWE. They would get better booking.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um,
If they got called up to the main roster, they'd be buried.
right. So yeah, I can actually see that reunion. I mean, if that happens, I mean, my gosh, the AEW faithful would just be like all over the place. I mean, the Twitter was going to be blown up. I am, and I mean for the good. I'm not saying it would be bad. I mean, I'm saying it would be good. The Twitter universe would just be like a buzz. This would be the buzz that put AEW on the map. I mean, you went there and you signed Cole, you signed Fish, and then you bring in O'Reilly. I mean, that is just absolutely the biggest coup you could ever possibly do, and bring this faction together. Whether they would have to change the name from the Undisputed Era, because they
Oh yeah,
don't,
they'll be changing the name.
yeah, they would have to change the name. But other than that, I mean, put together the faction. I mean, you, I, I agree with it.
It's going to be a very, very fun time, but that's absolutely what I see happening. Cole facing off against Page, Bucks and Omega turning babyface, and the Undisputed Era reuniting, and we get that 6-man tag at Double or Nothing. And as far as this match goes, like we said, excellent match. Very, very happy to see Jungle Boy getting a lot of love, and I'm very, very happy to see Jungle Boy really being pushed further and further up the card. It's definitely going to be a very, very fun story to sit back and watch with Jungle Boy because he's such an organic babyface.
Yes.
Moving on, we had Andrade, El Idolo, and Malachi Black taking on Cody Rhodes and Pac. Listen, this was a very good match, but if I'm going to be quite honest here, this is the match that didn't really need to be on the show. And I say that not because it was bad, because it was not bad. There's no way that this match is going to be a bad match when you got Malachi Black, Andrade, Cody Rhodes, and Pac. No way. No way. It was just a match that I feel as though could have been saved for Dynamite because of the fact that there was just so much on the card, and the show kind of felt a little rushed after this time, to a point where it was rather tough to keep your eyes on the screen because you just wanted a break because of how good the show was. So in a sense, it was both a good thing and a bad thing because like there was so much quality on the show, but at the same point in time, it was just so overbearing. It was just like pouring tea into a cup and the cup's overflowing. You get what I'm saying? But this was still a very good match, though. There's no way that this match was going to be bad. I mean, if people are going to tell me that this match was a bad match, I mean, you're absolutely fucking fooling yourself. But there was some tension between Cody Rhodes and Pac. We had a very technical start. Cody Rhodes tagged in, and he lit up Black before Pac tagged himself in. We had a Black Mass, or the Sin Eater, by Malachi Black to Cody. Then we had Arn and Jose getting into it after Pac took out both men, Malachi and Andrade, with a moonsault to the floor. Arn chased off the assistant to Andrade, Jose. Andrade then took over with a corkscrew plancha to Pac on the floor. Pac was isolated, a nice RVD-esque springboard moonsault. Very, very, very nice there. Love that. Pac inevitably was just completely beaten down. Black tried to wear down Pac as well. Pac tagged in Cody. Cody with the flip-flop and fly, the disaster kick to Black. Cody with a reverse superplex to Andrade for a 2. Andrade then locked in the figure 4. Pac tagged himself in after Cody locked Andrade in the figure 4. And Pac with a 450 to Andrade. Excellent 450. Andrade grabbed the ropes. He just kicked out. Black then pulled Cody into a Fosbury flop by Pac. There was a little miscommunication there. We had a German suplex on Pac. Cody just saved it. Black then sent himself and Cody over the barricade into the crowd. Back in the ring, Pac with a poison Rana to Andrade. Yes. And there's no way to make that move look safe. No way to make that move look safe. I'm surprised that someone hasn't broken their fucking neck of a fucking poison Rana. But after that, we had Pac then hitting the Black Arrow, and he gets the win for himself and Cody in a very good match. Didn't need to be on the show, though. That was the match that honestly had the least amount of build, and a match that really, 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 really could have been saved for Dynamite. Cash Wheeler then came out to attack Pac, and Black left with FTR, and I'm guessing that this is going to be building towards an 8-man tag team match between Lucha Bros, Pac, Cody versus Black, Andrade, and FTR, which I would not mind. That I would not mind. But the match, very good. Did not need to be on the show. I would have given Malachi and Andrade the win, but I understand why they gave Pac the win here. I mean, Cody did not get the win. And on top of that, Malachi Black wasn't pinned. He's protected. And Pac, out of everyone else, Pac has been very, very lukewarm. He hasn't really been all that hot as of lately. So I didn't necessarily mind when he beat Andrade on Rampage not that long ago. And I certainly did not mind Pac getting the win, because Pac is probably one of the most underappreciated talents in the world right now. Pac is a hidden gem. And at the end of the day, Pac getting the win, I'm happy for Pac getting that win. But this match did not need to be on the show. This match could have been saved for Dynamite in the end, but it was still a very good match, and I'm happy that Pac got the win. Not really sure where these 4 teams go, or where these 4 men go, but I can absolutely see Pac and Andrade facing off again after the 8-man tag team match. I would definitely love to see Andrade move on to something else. I would definitely love to see a match with Pac and Black. And then I would definitely love, Pac and Black. That's absolutely the next progression of things. And I would absolutely love to see Cody versus Miro. See what goes down there. But as far as the match goes, like I said, very good match. It just didn't need to be on the show. What are your thoughts on this, and where can you see all of these 4 men going after this?
I agree with all of the assessment. I agree with where you see them going, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. I agree with it. The match to me was not necessary.
It was good. It was very good.
It was good. I'm not going to knock it. But to me personally, this didn't need to be on the pay-per-view. This needed to be from the fallout on Wednesday. That's what you should have done. You should not in the pay-per-view. And that's the way I would have booked it. I would have said, you know what? Let's take this off the plate. Let's take this off the pay-per-view plate, and we'll push it over to the Fallout show, and we'll do it that way. And that's the way that's the road that they should have traveled on. But then they gave it to us in the pay-per-view. The match had a great fluidity to it. Both teams had issues with trusting each other, which you can see clearly was the case
Yes.
with both teams. They had that trust factor issues between all of them. Um, I again, I'm not gonna knock the match. I like it. I like the fluidity of it. I thought it was good. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. When I was sitting in the theater and I was watching this match, I am not lying to you. I'm not lying to your audience, and I'm not lying to you. They booed the crap out of Cody.
And
They
he knows
told
what he's
Cody to
doing, by the way.
go.
I love what Cody's doing right now. I think it's great. He's
Yeah,
trolling everyone.
he was booed the crap. They booed the crap out of him. One person in the audience says, "Please go back to Atlanta." One person says, "Please don't come back on television anymore." They just did not. They just did not. They did not care for seeing Cody. It was, one person said, "Same old shit." It was a lot.
And
It
that's the
was.
reason why Cody's being booed right there. It's not because he's overpushed. It's not because he buries talent. He's put over people. The reason why Cody's being booed, and I've said this before, it's because his character is boring. And at the
Yeah,
end of it, there's been no evolution to his character. He essentially says the same thing over and over again. But I will say this.
and
Right now, Cody is perhaps the most interesting part of Dynamite because everyone is invested on what he's going to do next. We don't know what he's going to do next. We don't know whether he's going to pull a John Cena and never turn heel. We don't know whether he's going to inevitably turn heel. We don't know when he's going to turn on Pac. We don't know if this is a slow burn. This right here has inadvertently made Cody into one of the more interesting parts of Dynamite to a point where everyone is watching him like a hawk to see what he's going to do next. And inevitably, I see this match, I see at some point this feud, some type of program turning Cody heel at the end of it all.
yeah.
But
I agree with the assessment. I'm sorry to cut you off.
that's fine.
I I like the assessment. I agree with it. It's just that it's the same repetitiveness with Cody. There's no
He's
new
great at what he
moves.
does,
There's
and we all
no
love him for
there's no
helping build AEW. But his character
right.
is just stagnant. It's stale.
It's yeah. There's no
Growth.
revolution to it. There's no growth, right? That's what I was looking for. There's no growth. There's no reinvention. There's another word that there's no reinvention.
Reinvention.
There's no reinvention to him. There's no fluidity to him. It's just the same thing. The pyro's the same. The music's the same. This is the same.
I mean, he has a
It's
great
just
theme song, but I get it.
yeah, I mean, it's the same. It's the same. Everything is the same. He goes in the ring. He uses the same moves. The disaster kick. It's nothing. You don't see him showing you a new move. It's the same thing he's doing in the ring, and the audience gravitating to it anymore. It's boring. It's stale. It's like toast. It's stale. It's just there's no butter, there's no jelly, there's no substance, there's nothing to
You're
it. I
making me
mean,
hungry now. I want me some peanut butter and jelly right now. Dee, is Earl making you hungry for some peanut butter and jelly? I hope that you're doing all right, Dee. I know there's a lot going on. Listen, if you need to take care of stuff outside of YouTube and everything, go take care of what you need to take care of. Do not worry. We're all sending good vibes to you. Do not worry. You don't need to constantly hang around here if you're busy. Trust me, you're good.
right. Yeah. So again, the match should have been on the the
The
next
fallout.
Dynamite, and
Yeah.
that's the fallout. That's what I agree with. Yeah,
But
you're welcome, DD. Take care of yourself.
Malachi Black, he was not pinned. I can absolutely see the 8-man tag happening. I could see Malachi and
Yes.
Pac happening, which would be great. And then
Yeah.
ultimately, I see Malachi Black beating Sammy Guevara at Revolution. Malachi Black will be the TNT champion at Revolution, and he will beat Sammy Guevara, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. It's going to be a beautiful thing to see.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Would you book Malachi Black and CM Punk?
Yes. Not now.
Okay. When
Yes.
would you think
Not
that
now.
match should happen?
Probably the end of 2022. I would love to
Okay.
see Malachi versus CM Punk somewhere in the fall of next year, because here's what I believe. CM Punk is absolutely going to be a challenger for MJF. I can absolutely see Punk and MJF at All Out in Chicago next year for the AEW World Championship. With MJF going over, he'll be the most hated man in professional wrestling. Then, after Black inevitably loses the TNT Championship to whoever, then we can get a match between Black and Punk. And I don't even give a shit who wins that match. I just want to fucking see it.
Right.
But that's what's going down there. Very good match.
Okay.
Happy that Pac is getting some wins behind him. But I said it before. We said it before. It didn't really need to be on the show.
No.
I will say this. One match that I was rather impressed with was Brit Baker versus Ty Conti for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Yeah.
And I say that because a lot of people went into this show looking at this match and thinking it was going to be the weakest match on the show. These two women worked their asses off to make sure that no one was going to say anything about this match, and they made sure that this match was something to remember. Now, Brit Baker, we all know how good Brit Baker is. Brit Baker's fantastic. She's had excellent matches with Red Velvet, Ruby Soho, Chris Statlander. Ty Conti, let me tell you something. You got your Brit Bakers, you got your Chris Statlanders, your Ruby Sohos, your Thunder Rosas, your Hikaru Shidas, your Serena Deebs. But Ty Conti, I'm telling you, Ty Conti is absolutely one of the most improved individuals in the entire women's division. And Ty Conti, let me tell you something. Ty Conti has shown everyone, especially with this match, if she keeps up the improvement that she has been on for like the last year, if she keeps on improving at this rate for the next, 2-3 years, she could very well be the AEW Women's World Champion. Britt Baker, she's excellent at what she does. She's smooth, she's crisp, her character's great, her matches have been great, and I would even go so far as to say that this was Britt Baker's second best match as AEW Women's Champion so far. These two women brought it, and they worked their fucking asses off in this match. This was probably the best match of Ty Conti's career. Ty Conti was doing things that I didn't even know she was capable of. And that right there is a beautiful thing to see. The progression of Ty Conti is something very, very, very beautiful, and I'm very happy that I was able to see that in AEW. Tony Khan is definitely high on Ty Conti. And as far as Britt Baker goes, what can I say about Britt Baker? Britt Baker is fantastic. Britt Baker is a fucking superstar. She is the hottest woman in pro wrestling today. And if you're not on the Britt Baker hype train, you better get the fuck off the tracks, because if you don't, you're going to get fucking steamrolled, because Britt Baker is a fucking superstar, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. Britt Baker and Ty Conti, this was a very intense match. These two women worked their asses off, and I'm very, very happy to see that these two women brought it. Britt Baker, she had an awesome entrance with Rich Ward of Fozzy. He played Britt Baker's theme song on the guitar, and it was excellent. It was excellent. It was absolutely excellent. And I was very, very happy that they actually did something special for Britt Baker then. And I would even go so far as to say that was better than Jericho's entrance at All Out. But this was a great entrance for Britt. So Brit took over. She tried to wear down Ty Conte. Baker then kept the pace slow. Conte came back with a running knee, and then she mounted a comeback. We had punt kick after punt kick after punt kick. We had a big cross body for a 2. Both women were striking each other. Ty Conte hit a German suplex for a 2. Conte was caught with a curb stomp by Brit Baker, and she kicked out. Conte then hit a pretty decent-looking RKO. Decent-looking RKO there. I got to give Ty Conte credit there. Orton would be proud. RKO by Ty Conte, or should we say the TKO, the Ty KO, so to speak. Brit Baker kicked out. Both women then were on the apron. Brit Baker with a great-looking air raid crash on the apron. Nasty-looking air raid crash. Props to Ty Conte for taking that bump. She's got some really nice moves. A very nice curb stomp. A very nice air raid crash. Brit Baker, she's really been evolving her offense, and I'm very, very impressed with that. So Brit Baker with a great-looking air raid crash on the apron. Then Ty Conte, she got back into the ring. She was able to hit the Ty KO. Baker kicked out. We had Conte getting hit with a super kick by Baker, a punt kick by Ty Conte. Conte hit a Gotch-style pile driver, a great-looking Gotch-style pile driver for a very close 2 count. Jamie Hayter then sent Ty Conte into the steps behind the referee's back. All of a sudden, Brit Baker with a nasty-looking curb stomp on the ring steps. Really, really nice. She hit another curb stomp in the ring. She went for the lockjaw, but Ty Conte countered it. We had a punt kick sending Baker to the floor. Conte, then she decided to channel her inner fucking Sammy Guevara. You know how Sammy Guevara does that shit? He goes, I'm crazy. That was Ty Conte right. Ty Conte with a beautiful looking moonsault off the top to the floor, taking out Hayter and Rebel. Baker then dodged the moonsault. Ty Conte then was able to hit a swinging side slam on the floor. She threw Baker back into the ring. She hit the DDT. She was able to hit the DDT. I thought that was it, actually. I was a little apprehensive. I actually thought that was it. Baker kicked out. Then Baker rolled through on the lockjaw counter by Ty Conte and got a tight roll-up on Ty Conte for the win. 1, 2, 3. Baker retains the AEW Women's World Championship. Both women worked their asses off in this match. Brit Baker is excellent at what she does. Her moves are crisp. Her moves are a lot more impactful. I've been loving her progression. Ty Conte, she did things that I didn't think that she was capable of. Fucking Gotch-style pile drivers and moonsaults. Excellent, excellent stuff here from both women. I would say that this was Brit Baker's second best match as AEW Women's Champion. Both women brought it, and if Ty Conte continues to improve, she's absolutely going to be a future AEW Women's World Champion within the next couple years. But Brit Baker was not losing that title because at the end, all roads lead to Thunder Rosa versus Brit Baker for the AEW Women's World Championship, with Thunder Rosa taking the title off of Brit. So what were your thoughts on this match? What were your thoughts on Ty Conte's performance? What were your thoughts on the ending? And where can you see both women going from here?
That was absolutely, again, I'm just going to, before I even say anything, I respect you as a fan, because you really take your notes and you really and truly say the correct things. And I am just, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I cannot even follow that. I don't even want to follow that.
Hey, I had you on for a reason, brother. I mean, I have you on because I know that you can follow me. I know that you can bring an excellent expertise analysis along with me.
I know. I understand that. And I do appreciate that. This was absolutely, and I'm going to say this. I am going to say this right now because I haven't said this in a long time. I have been a fan of wrestling for over 41 years. Okay. I have seen, and I mean many, women's matches, but this match was one of the best matches in modern women wrestling history. This was absolutely scintillating. Ty Conti and Britt Baker. Hold on, I have to do this. Britt Baker, DMD, brought out the best in Ty Conti. She took everything that Ty Conti dished out to her, including the kitchen sink. Okay? This match was absolutely a joy to watch. This was absolutely what a women's title match should be and ought to be. This match just left me breathless. It left me speechless. It left me surprised. It left me with a lot of things that I just could not even dream up of. I mean, Ty Conti was absolutely fantastic in this match. She brought out new things that I never thought she was going to bring out, and she did it on a great stage. She really did, and it was just absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. It was great. It was the best match ever, and yeah, this was fantastic. Like I agree with you. I think Ty Conti needs to build up some more wins under her belt. I could see her being a champion down the road. Britt Baker obviously is going to meet that Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa is going to be the new AEW Women's Champion.
There we
Uh,
go.
that is they got to travel on, and
Thank you,
it was
Hologram.
just
Thank you, Hologram.
we got some trolls in the room. Okay,
And
go
we
ahead.
got some trolls in the room, but let me tell you something. You can't touch me, motherfuckers. You can't touch me because you know that I'm better than you. And you know it. Anyway,
So anyway,
continue, Earl.
anyway, no, but this was just absolutely great, and I could see Ty Conti being a champion sometime down the road.
Yes.
We all know Brent Baker is going to meet Thunder Rosa, and we all know that that's going to happen. Eventually, that has to happen, and eventually, Thunder Rosa is going to become the new AEW Women's Champion. But this was just absolutely, and I agree with you 100%, DJ Storms. I absolutely believe that this was absolutely the second best match of Britt Baker. She brought out the best in Ty Conti. She took everything Ty Conti had to offer. Ty Conti was game. I thought at that point when she gave it a DDT that the match was over. That this was it. We were going to get a shocking moment that Ty Conti was going to become the AEW Women's Champion. That did not happen. It did not happen. And um, again, I love the match. It was fantastic. I stood up and applauded in the theater. I love what I saw. It was absolutely brilliant. It was fantastic.
So let me ask you a question. The match between Rosa and Britt Baker, that's not happening until Revolution. So who can you see Britt Baker facing in the interim before we inevitably get to the match with Rosa? Do you see another match with Hikaru Shida? Do you potentially see Anna Jay? Do you see somebody else?
Well, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but usually when she has a title defense on a pay per view, they do give her a break. They do not put her out there to versus another woman until a pay per view or something, or sometimes they do bring her out and take on somebody, but they do protect her a lot. I don't know who would step up to the plate. I mean, there's a woman named Layla Hirsch. I mean, that that is one person that could possibly be. Um, Maybe a Jay Cargill. That's another person.
Cargill's not ready yet.
No,
Cargill
she's
needs
not
some
ready
more
yet. Okay.
seasoning.
Okay. She already took on Abaddon, so we can't
And
say that.
goodbye,
Um,
Abaddon.
I,
Never show your face again.
right. Yeah, I can see Layla Hirsch. I can see Chris Statlander again. The possibilities are endless here. Yeah, the possibilities are endless with her.
Danielle Wolf says, "What about Riho? Definitely would not mind Riho.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Riho's not
Riho is
bad.
another.
She's not
Riho's
gonna
not
win, but
bad.
she's decent. She's decent in the ring.
Yeah, or even Nyla Rose. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Well, we've
I mean,
already had Nyla, we've already had Statlander, so that's it. That's it for them.
right,
Next, it's on to the next one.
right. What about Hokata or Shida?
Yeah, Sheeta, absolutely. I definitely would not mind seeing a rematch with them. We could potentially see that within the next month or two. Maybe at the special. Maybe at the special on January 8th, we could see a rematch with Sheeta. Definitely would not mind that. I definitely would not mind seeing a match with a Layla Hirsch. Definitely would not mind seeing a match with a Riho. And I feel as though those three would be a nice solid amount of
Right,
challengers for Britt Baker just to get her to Revolution, and
right,
then that's ultimately going to be the end.
right. And
But
then she's gonna meet.
yeah, and then she'll meet Thunder Rosa.
Right.
But we definitely were impressed by Ty Conti and Britt Baker. They definitely brought it.
Mm-hmm.
Very happy to see the progression of Ty Conti. Britt Baker's
Thumbs
great.
up.
Yes, absolutely. I'll tell you what else was a thumbs up. For the short amount of time that it went, CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, they put on a very fun match.
Holy Lord.
Very fun match.
Wow.
It went about like 11 minutes, I believe. It went about 11 minutes. It was very short, but these two, they really brought it against each other. They really did. And it was very fun to watch. So before the match even began, Kingston hit the spinning back fist, right? Before the match even began. Fight started right out of the gate. Punk tried to fight back with a ground and pound. Punk with a sliding drop kick. Punk was sent into the ropes and he was bleeding. Punk was bleeding. Crowd was chanting for both men. Punk with a diving clothesline to Kingston off of the apron. Punk, this was brilliant by Punk right here. This was fucking brilliant. Punk did a John Cena-like comeback. Because like people were making comparisons with the Punk and Cena feud to the Punk and Kingston feud. Kingston was what CM Punk once was. That's what I loved about this. So Punk threw his hand up. I thought he was going to do a fucking five-knuckle shuffle. I thought he was going to do a fucking five-knuckle shuffle. It was fucking awesome. So what happened here, Punk put his hand up, and instead of doing the five-knuckle shuffle, he went, fuck you to Kingston. So then they started punching each other again. They went up to Punk then hit the Three Amigos. He hit the Three Amigos. Punk and Kingston then went up to the top. Kingston then with a superplex. Both men were down. Both men then broke into a hockey fight. Punk then hit a GTS, but he could not capitalize. Punk then he hit a rapid-fire elbow barrage on Kingston, knees to the face, Muay Thai knees to the face. Then he delivered a second GTS, and he pins Kingston for the win. So, very fun match for the short amount of time that it went. I was very interested in what these two were going to produce, and it was very fun for the short amount of time that it went. I don't think this is over. We're either getting another match between these two, or we will end up getting that tag team match that we talked about earlier between Punk, Bryan, Kingston, and Moxley when Moxley's ready to come back. But I would not mind seeing another match between these two, this time with a stipulation behind it. Potentially a street fight stipulation on it. I think that would definitely
Or
bring the
steel
up.
cage.
Yes, steel cage. Steel cage is definitely one to keep our eyes on. A street fight, a steel cage, definitely something that I would be invested in. What were your thoughts on this match? Do you think that they should have given it a little bit more time, or do you think that it was fine for what it was?
I would have. You see the problem that I had with this match is that Kingston's stamina could not match Punk's intensity, and I think that was the issue. Um, if Kingston was a little bit more leaner and a little bit more faster, I think the match could have gone a little bit more. But because of his stamina, I don't think he could have withstand Punk's intensity. And I think for what it was, is I think that was the only thing that they could have done with the match. I would have loved to see it a little bit more. I would have loved it. I would have loved the 5 minutes more. I would have loved it. I absolutely had. It was fantastic. I mean, when he's back fist him, even before the bell rang,
I
we were
loved it.
like, I was like, what? I was like, wait, is this how it's gonna end? I was like, they didn't do anything. They haven't versus each other yet, and he just backfisted him, and that's it. Is that the referee's call? We're gonna get a no contest. Is that what we're gonna get here? But that's not what we
Fucking
got. That's
brilliant.
no.
I loved it.
I'm,
Fucking
I'm,
brilliant.
it was great. It was a great thing to wake. It was a great way to wake up Punk, and the giving the two fingers and the Italian salute and all of this and the fingers and this. I mean, it was just crazy. These two were just absolutely crazy.
I
I
love
mean, it
it.
was just crazy. It was love. I loved it. It was almost like a whirling dervish. It was almost like a dust storm. You just didn't know which way it was gonna go. It was just all over the place. It was just all over the place. Woolly, wild, and all over the place. That's what I
There
called
we
it.
go. There we go, man. So let me
Oh,
ask you. Let me ask you. Um, what's the next match that we see between these two, and where do we see it at? Do we see it at Winter is Coming? Do we see it at the Dynamite special on January 8th? And in the end, does Kingston get the win, or does Punk continue his undefeated streak?
um, yeah. Well, I think probably if they agree to it, if the two of them agree to it, we could see Winter's Coming. We could see that. I could see that. But I would have a stipulation in
Yes.
the match, as you said. I would have a stipulation, something. Um, Unfortunately, I would have to have Punk take the L on this one.
I don't
Um,
know, man. I don't see Punk losing. I don't see Punk losing.
well,
They
oh,
got to
okay,
keep him
well,
protected.
okay, all right. So then, all right. So then he'll lose again. He'll lose again. He'll lose again to Punk. Punk will just be on the keep his undefeated streak, and Kingston would just have to go into the sunset and just know that he tried twice, and it just
We're
didn't
gonna get
work
that
out.
tag team match. We're gonna get that tag team
Yeah,
match.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get the tag team match. But I think if they do agree to a rematch, I think there's stipulation. There should be maybe false count anywhere, maybe a street fight, maybe a lights out match. Um, you know, I a submissions match works too. All of those stipulations work. They all work.
Yes.
Um, so I think that's the road that they probably will travel on, because at the end of the match, Punk tried to shake his hand that he did not want none of it. He didn't want none of it.
He was obviously not too happy. He gave a big fuck you to CM Punk.
Yeah, it was not good. It's like you just whipped me from pillar to post, and then you want me to shake your hand and give you a hug, and have a beer with you afterwards. I don't
No,
think so. No, no. Absolutely not. Nope. I'm out.
But anyway,
Goodbye.
rather fun match for the short amount of time that it went. I definitely can see this feud continuing. We're definitely going to get that tag team match at some point. There's no way that we're not. Moving on from that, we had American Top Team and the Men of the Year versus the Inner Circle. This was a Minneapolis street fight. Let me tell you something. The build towards this match, this was the best built match towards Full Gear. Dan Lambert is a heat magnet, and I absolutely love it. Dan Lambert is so good at what he does, so much so that he's helping Men of the Year. So much so that he is helping Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky grow and further what they're doing. And that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love about Dan Lambert and what he's doing for the Men of the Year. This is what Dan Lambert is supposed to do. And now that Dan Lambert is in this position, obviously he was with the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle lost to the Men of the Year and American Top Team twice now. So there was no way that the Inner Circle was losing 3 times. They were not going to beat the Inner Circle 3 times. This was ultimately going to end with the Inner Circle getting the win, with Dan Lambert getting the pin. That's exactly what happened. But I will say this. The build was a lot better. Well, the build was great. The build was excellent. And the match had no right to be as good as it was. It was very, very fun. It was chaotic. There was a lot of crazy spots in this match. We had a lot of great back and forth. Junior Dos Santos actually impressed. He actually looked very good in this matchup, did Junior Dos Santos. Dan Lambert, he took a lot of bumps in this match. He was hit with a kendo stick. He was hit with a frog splash. So props to Dan Lambert. And let me tell you something. He looked so carny. He looked like a carny piece of shit, even more so than Don Callis. And I love that about Dan Lambert. He plays his role so fucking well. He really does. So Santos, like I said, he impressed. Nice standing moonsault on Jericho. Dan Lambert came in. He was flipping off the Inner Circle. He was slapping Jericho. We got a big brawl. Everyone started diving on everyone. Hager with a diving axe handle onto a pile. Dan Lambert brought out a steel pipe. Junior Dos Santos got hit with a trash can. Ortiz got wedged into the post with a chair wrapped around his neck. Santana and Ortiz, they put a trash can on Ethan Page's head and hit him with the hockey stick. Really nice backstretch senton Boston Crab combination submission move by Santana and Ortiz on Men of the Year. Really good stuff there. Hager then hit Arlovsky with a toaster. We had Guevara with a double cutter on Men of the Year. Dan Lambert tried to take out Jericho. Sammy then set up a table. We had Scorpio Sky being put on the table. Junior Dos Santos got double superplexed by Proud and Powerful. Scorpio Sky was draped on the table. Guevara, like the mentally insane guy that he is, does a fucking swanton bomb, channeling his inner Jeff Hardy off the ladder through the table. Fucking crazy. You could not pay me all the money in the world to do that shit. We had Ethan Page hitting the Ego's Edge to Ortiz. And then all of a sudden, Baron von Ravske, he delivered the Iron Claw to Ethan Page. It's great. Iron Claw to Ethan Page. Santana then threw Ethan Page over the barricade, and Santana launched himself off of a fucking security guard into the crowd, into Ethan Page. Jericho then hit Lambert with a kendo stick. He took a stapler. He stapled Dan Lambert's balls, and then Dan Lambert was out, and then he gave Dan Lambert a frog splash in tribute to Eddie Guerrero. And we get Jericho winning by pinning Dan Lambert, and Dan Lambert gets his comeuppance for talking all that shit. Dan Lambert gets pinned by Jericho, and the Inner Circle get the win. This match very much exceeded expectations. Very fun match, and I can't really complain about it. This match felt like it actually belonged on the show. It really said it actually belonged on the show. And I was very, very happy with the end result here. I would love to see Men of the Year possibly face off against Lucha Bros, or maybe Men of the Year faces off against Proud and Powerful after Proud and Powerful wins the tag team titles. That's definitely something that could happen. I don't know where the Inner Circle goes from here, but we all know where Sammy Guevara goes from here. Mr. Black Machismo himself, Jay Lethal. So that was pretty much that. Let me get your thoughts on that before we move on to the main event.
As everybody knows that Eddie Guerrero passed away outside of Minnesota, and he died in a Bloomfield hotel. He was supposed to show up for at the Target Center for the WWE. He never showed up. They called his hotel room, and that's when they found Eddie Guerrero dead. So that was the tribute that they were doing to Eddie in Minnesota. Jericho, says that he loved Eddie at the end of the Frog Splash after he pinned Lambert. I thought that was a very fitting tribute to Eddie. And, a lot of people don't know that I did see Eddie Guerrero's final appearance at WrestleMania in Los Angeles. And it was absolutely breathtaking. But getting back to this match, I absolutely love this match. I had no issues with it. It was another match that was woolly, wild, and all over the place.
That's the theme of the show.
Right. I mean, we all knew Dan Lambert can't wrestle. We all know that. He would look ridiculous in the tracksuit, and it was just you just knew that he was going to get his upcomings with his mouth. And I did that the Inner Circle would have won a match, and then my prediction came true. That was absolutely great. I thought the ending was great. I thought the build was fantastic. I thought everything about the match was great. I just loved it. It was just absolutely, he got his comeuppance. And that's what we call it in the olden days. You got your comeuppance. And it was great. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Really, really good stuff right here. I got to say, Junior Dos Santos, definitely impressed. Very, very happy that we got to see the progression of Junior Dos Santos for sure. And then we actually had Tony Schiavone. He actually interviewed Jay Lethal. And Jay Lethal, who recently he was released by Ring of Honor. Because Ring of Honor, they released pretty much all of their roster because of the pandemic ruining what was going on in Ring of Honor, and the fact that they just lacked fans, they lacked the interaction, they lacked the interest, they lacked the proper promotion. It's a sad scenario for Ring of Honor, but at the end of the day, we do have a lot of interesting scenarios with the Forbidden Door. Jay Lethal, he answered the call, and he said that he is all elite. And then he said there's an open challenge for the TNT title, and he challenged Sammy Guevara for Wednesday. Sammy came out, and he goes, "You're on." And we got the match for Wednesday. Jay Lethal, let me tell you something. Jay Lethal is a very humble, very down-to-earth, very gracious individual. He's always been someone that's for the fans. And that's what I love about Jay Lethal. I really do. I love that about Jay Lethal because he has always been a guy that wanted to stay with the fans, and he never wanted to get that mindset where, oh, hey, I'm famous, I'm better than everyone else. He always wanted to remain humble. That's exactly what he did. Very, very happy he did so. And now that he's all elite and he's getting this opportunity, it's a beautiful thing to see. It really is. And I can't wait for this match on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when he came out, I mean, everybody was just so excited and so happy about it. It was just absolutely, this is another coup by Tony Khan. I mean, he just comes up with these things, he sees a potential in somebody and he just brings them in and he works them into the AEW booking fabric. And I love it, and that's respect him. No, he doesn't leave talent on the cutting room floor. He just takes them and interweaves them into every booking storyline that he can possibly muster in his mind. And I'm just like, I always said this, Tony Khan is a fan first and a boss second. And I believe that wholeheartedly because he loves giving the fans something that they could easily rally behind and gravitate to. And he just loves this business. And you could see it in his work. You could see it in the ethic of his work. You could see it in the talent. The talent is always smiling. There's always people happy behind the scenes because it's not being processed. Nobody's being processed. Nobody's being on top of you. They make them go out there and do their thing and make them be themselves. And that is something I love about Tony Khan. That is something I love about AEW. And that is why I'm a huge fan of them. That is one of the reasons I love them. And yeah, I think the signing is fantastic. I have no issues with it. I wish Jay Lethal all the best in the luck. He could versus anybody in that AEW locker room. The possibilities are endless with him and who he takes on. You know,
It's gonna be a fun time, man. It's gonna be a real fun time. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, especially with the juggernaut that Tony Khan has created. I love it. I really do. You know what else I loved? Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship in the main event. And this was excellent. This was an excellent match. And the one thing that I loved about this match the most is there was not too much fuckery in this match. There wasn't too many interferences. It wasn't too overbooked. It had just the right amount of shenanigans. It had just the right amount of storytelling, great professional wrestling, and an excellent way to close out a fantastic night of professional wrestling. Crowd was hyped up for this match. They were chanting "Fuck Don Callis." Page was in control early before Omega drove Page into the barricade. Page came back with a suplex on the floor. Kenny took over and he wore down Adam Hangman Page. Page came back with a fall-away slam, a big suicide dive, and a huge Orihara moonsault to the floor. Omega then with a springboard Liger bomb to Page off the top rope. Looked very, very nasty. Snapdragon in the ring. Snapdragon on the apron. And he hit a big V-trigger. Page fought off the one-winged angel. He hit a big release German suplex to Omega, turning him inside out. Omega with a Tiger Driver 98 for a damn close near fall on Page. We then had both men wanting to go to the top. Page hit an avalanche moonsault slam. Omega kicked out barely. We had a clothesline off the top through the timekeeper's table. Adam Hangman Page with a springboard clothesline flying through the air right through the timekeeper's table. Looked brutal. Back in the ring, we had a big pop-up powerbomb. Buckshot lariat. He went for it, but Omega pulled the referee into the fray. Ref was knocked out. Don Callis then brought the belt in. Page was trying to get at him. Page struck Callis. Callis was out. And we would never hear from him again. Omega then got hit with the Deadeye. Aubrey Edwards came sprinting down to the ring. 1, 2, Omega kicked out. Then we go into a very, 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 very tense moment where Adam Hangman Page was trying to contemplate, do I use the title? We've seen this a lot of times with a lot a lot of pure baby faces that don't want to take the cheap way out and shit like that. So Page thought better of it. He put the title down. Both men started trading strikes. Page then got hit with V-trigger after V-trigger after V-trigger. Page then came back with a rolling elbow. And then all of a sudden, he wanted more from Omega. He's like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And Omega did just that. Big V-trigger and a couple of backdrop suplexes. Both men actually got dropped on their heads. Looked fucking brutal. All of a sudden, Omega went for the one-winged angel. Page reversed it, and he hit the one-winged angel. Page hit a one-winged angel of his own. And you know how everyone says no one ever kicks out of the one-winged angel? Omega kicked out of the one-winged angel, and I like that he did that. I like that he did that because that right there, that just goes to show you that if there's anyone that knows how to kick out of a one-winged angel, it's Kenny Omega. So Omega kicked out of the one-winged angel. All of a sudden, the Bucks then came out. The Bucks then came out, and Nick Jackson was right by the apron, right where Adam Hangman Page was. And Adam Hangman Page, you need to remember, he said, if you get involved in my match, I'm going to ruin you. So Nick Jackson stared down Page. He did not touch him. Didn't touch him. Buckshot lariat to the back of Omega's head. He went to the other side. He went to the other side. He looked at Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson, he didn't do anything. He nodded. Matt Jackson nodded in approval. And Page delivered the second buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3. And Adam Hangman Page is your new AEW World Champion. Excellent match and an excellent ending. That right there is long-term storytelling if I've ever seen it. And I'm going to put this out there right now. The journey of Adam Hangman Page has been the best storyline in pro wrestling ever since Daniel Bryan's journey to the main event of WrestleMania 30. It is a beautiful thing to see. It was a beautiful journey. And Adam Hangman Page getting that buckshot lariat after the nod of approval by Matt Jackson, after everything that they went through, that right there is what professional wrestling is all about. Buckshot lariat. Hangman Page wins the title. The Dark Order then came out to celebrate with Adam Hangman Page, and they held Adam Hangman Page up in celebration. Page finally wins the World Championship. Excellent main event to cap off AEW's best show in their short history thus far. And I know for a fact that Tony Khan is going to do everything in his power to top this show. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's damn sure going to try to top this show, and I guarantee you he could very well do it. I don't know how, but I have a feeling he will. And now, this right here is going to play into a long-term story with the Bucks. Bucks, they're not going to be on Adam Cole's good side because they did not screw over Page. And Page got in Adam Cole's face. That right there is going to play up into the main event of Revolution, which is going to cause Adam Cole to recruit Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Bucks will now turn babyface. They'll align with Omega, and we're getting the Elite versus Undisputed Era 2.0, or whatever they want to call themselves in AEW. Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly versus the Elite at Double or Nothing next year. Page is going to be the guy that's going to carry that championship going into the new year. He's going to beat Bryan. He's going to beat Cole. He's going to beat whoever they decide to put in front of him. And at the end of it all, we will see MJF take that title off of Page. But excellent main event. Very happy for Page. I was very nervous at times during the matchup, but with AEW, they always do the right thing when it comes to long-term storytelling, and they have developed probably the best storyline in all of pro wrestling since Bryan Danielson's journey to main eventing WrestleMania 30. What were your thoughts on this main event to cap off AEW Full Gear?
I mean, what can I say about that? Drop the mic and get off the stage. It was absolutely brilliant. I have no issues with this match, and you are absolutely, again, I respect you for what you just said. This was a great storytelling. This was a culmination into something that was deserving. This was absolutely deserving of him to get this title. Absolutely. Yes. And yes, absolutely. And this was just absolutely the right thing to do. I love long storytelling. I love when it's done correctly, and I love when it's booked correctly. This was just absolutely the best fitting end to Hangman's Adam Page's story. And this is I just don't have any issues with it whatsoever. I mean, in the end, when the referee went down, I had sort of like the WWE headpiece on my head, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna disqualify Omega for hitting the referee for intentionally grabbing the referee, and I was like, no, don't end it like that. Don't end it like that. But I forgot who I was dealing with. I forgot who I was dealing with and who I was seeing. So I took off my WWE hat, and I knew that was not going to take place, and that was not going to fly. Because I'm sure the audience would have ripped up the arena if that did happen. Um, but anyway, this was an absolutely great culmination into the pay window and him getting the title. It is well deserved, well earned, and I agree with the assessment. I agree with the ending. I agree with the pay-per-view. This was just absolutely the best way to end the 2021 wrestling pay-per-view calendar for AEW. And now it's time to march forward and see what else is in the cook pot in the month of December and the rest of February and the rest of November.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. Cannot wait to see it. And at the end of it all, hey, we got a great show. Great night of pro wrestling, and certainly not a night of pro wrestling that we're going to get on the 21st. So there's that. There's that.
Yeah. There's that,
But,
and I will be in Brooklyn for that. So
yeah. So if you see Earl Cole, please make sure you give him a fist bump for me. But, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Rewind for AEW Full Gear 2021. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this show. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I greatly appreciate Lisa Marie, Danielle Wolf, Rob Wells Jr., Hula Grimm, Dee Dee, Ibby B. Ibby B, she's actually a new supporter. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe. Yes, Brian and Hangman will be fantastic. Excellent show. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds for AEW. It is a great time to be a professional wrestling fan. And next Sunday, I'm actually going to be going live at 2 p.m. for the rundown for Survivor Series. Before Survivor Series goes live on Peacock on November 21st, I will be going live with Indigo Unshiha. And if you want to go follow him on Twitter, you can. I will be putting the links to his social medias in the description of the video. I'm going to announce publicly on Twitter that he is going to be my guest. Him and I, we were talking about WrestleMania earlier this year, back in April. So I definitely hope that we can outdo that. I absolutely know that we're absolutely going to outdo that. Lisa, let me tell you something, babe. I don't even know how I'm going to be watching Survivor Series with Full Gear on my mind. I'll text you later. Don't worry. I'll text you later, and we can have a conversation over that. But again, thank you everyone for joining. Earl Cole, thank you very much for answering the call last minute. Everyone, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. and set your calendar dates for next Sunday. I may or may not do a lightning flash update on Saturday. I'm debating. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. I will keep you guys updated if I do one. I have a doctor's appointment not a doctor's appointment. I have a dentist appointment that day. So I'm not sure what they're going to do to my teeth. No, it's not with Brit Baker, okay? It's not with fucking Brit Baker. But I do have a dentist appointment. I do have a dentist appointment. I'm not sure what they're going to fucking do to my teeth, but I got the perfect fucking teeth. Teeth that'll make Kevin Dunn jealous. But anyway, Earl Cole, let me hand it over to you. Again, thank you very much for answering the call. I greatly appreciate you. Where can we find you on social media, man, before we get on out of here?
Okay, but again, folks, if you want to follow me on social media, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. First of all, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. 77 subscribers, and my goal is 80, and I hope I get up to that number. You can also follow me on Twitter at WWE Earl C. WWE Earl C on Twitter. Instagram is Earl C99. And of course, you can make me a friend on Facebook. And I will be a proud member of the DJ Storms Posse page, which I'm the senior administrator.
Lisa Marie, she's a member. I know Rob's a member. Hooligrim, if you haven't had me on Facebook, I don't know what you're doing, brother. If you got a Facebook, you want to be a part of the posse on Facebook, you gotta let me know. Come on, brother.
Yeah. So Hooligrim, come on board. We would like to welcome you. Again, folks, I'm going to be back with my show, The Wrestling Experience. And for the first time ever, I'm coming on with a female guest. Yes, Top Rope Squishy is going to.
I love that woman.
Yeah, Top Rope Squishy is going to be on The Wrestling Experience, and she's going to be on my show, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have so much fun together. We're going to discuss all that you need to know about wrestling, and it's going to be a fun conversation. So please tune in for that historic show. It will be a fun show. It'll be a fun time for me. Again, like I said, I want to thank DJ Storms once again for bringing me on the show. And of course, thank you for calling me and summoning me from the bullpen. I'm always here for you, DJ Storms. Whenever you need me, you just reach into the cyberspace, send me a neon sign or whatever, and I will answer the bell. Trust me and believe me. And to all of your subscribers and to all of your fans, thank you so much for listening to us. It's been a pleasure. And please enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And please do not drink and drive. And we're just 1 week away from Thanksgiving. So I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. So
absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving. AEW is the home of professional wrestling. I am DJ Storms. He's Earl Cole. And this has been The Rewind. And I will catch you next weekend. Set your calendar dates. It's going to be another busy weekend next weekend. You all have a great weekend.